This year marks another momentous occasion for EmCare and our sister company, American Medical Response. It has been a year of change, which has included the leveraged buyout from our prior parent, Law, and the formation of our new parent, Emergency Medical Services Corporation, or EMSC, and now our public offering. Through all these changes, one thing has remained steadfast: our commitment to our caregivers and your ongoing commitment to our patients. The EmCare Commitment to Care Award recognizes one such physician who exemplifies the fundamental core values that have been and will continue to be the foundation of our organization. I am proud to join you in honoring this year's award winner.
Welcome to EmCare's third annual Commitment to Care Award ceremony. 2005 has been a year of unprecedented natural disasters, calling upon extraordinary emergency responses. In all instances, emergency physicians were among the first to respond and render care to patients. This year's recipient is no exception. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, he quickly volunteered and was deployed to the makeshift hospital at New Orleans International Airport. He tirelessly helped those in need under horrific conditions and without thought to his own personal safety. Moreover, our recipient serves the medical community in many ways. He is a medical director, DMAT volunteer, and supports the impoverished in third world countries. Without question, his actions and work exemplify our core values of patient care, compassion, community, and collaboration. It is my pleasure and honor to present EmCare's third annual Commitment to Care Award to Dr. Ed Thornton.
Sometimes I wonder if I chose emergency medicine or if it chose me. To be Americans in a country where a disaster's occurred, and to be able to get to these villages and willing to walk to these villages, for a lot of people I think it was very comforting and reassuring. Every day I have the opportunity, and usually I get to make contact with a person, a real person. It's more than prescriptions, interpreting lab results, but I have a chance to get to know somebody that I've never met before. We pooled our resources, we bought food, and we took food into some of the villages where families had lost loved ones or where old people lived and really had no stores of food. I think at the top of the list of the core values that I'd like for my children to have would be a sense of their spirituality. I want them to have a sense of spiritually who they are in the world. I want my children to understand that there are people in the world who can make a difference.
I believe that the best thing that Ed and I have ever done for our children is getting them out of the United States and into a developing country and to see what 80% of the world lives like. I think it has played a huge part in who they are as people. And I know it's played a huge part of who Ed and I are as people. But our philosophy is that we don't need it all. There's too much to give, and there's a huge world full of starving, hurting, sick, needy people.
Each year, out of the many dedicated men and women in the EmCare family, one stands out who demonstrates an exceptional commitment to care.
I've known I wanted to be a physician really since I was 3 or 4 years old, and I feel really fortunate that it's the only thing that I ever really wanted to do, and I'm lucky enough that I got to do what I wanted to do.
There are many reasons why I nominated Dr. Thornton for this award. From his commitment to patient care in the emergency department, to his compassion and really passion for helping people that are truly in need, that are underprivileged, underserved, and really in trouble.
Everybody figured out what a great guy is, but I've already known it for a long time. But I'm very proud of him. I'm proud for him because he's very deserving of it.
Dr. Thornton is very involved in activities, committing his time to missions. He seems to be the type of guy that is constantly volunteering his time and energies to make things better for the people around him.
It's how he defines who he is. When everybody else is running down the hill that the mud is sliding down, he is running up the hill asking how he can help, what he can give, what resources he can commit, and emailing people trying to get them committed to that cause.
As a member of the Texas DMAT team, Dr. Thornton was one of the first physicians to reach New Orleans after the departure of Hurricane Katrina.
Late Tuesday evening, we were told that we'd be going to the New Orleans International Airport. Our mission was to go and to set up what we call the ultimate disaster hospital, a hospital that's capable of taking care of 2,500 people.
Within hours, the team was confronted by an endless stream of ambulances.
I took a Thomas pack and 2 or 3 people, a couple of paramedics and a nurse, and we started going to these ambulances. And it became clear to me immediately that these patients were the sickest of the sick people in all of New Orleans. A lot of them were patients who'd been on ventilators, and we had 1 ventilator in our cache.
In their first 15 hours on the ground, the team unloaded more than 13,000 patients, nearly every one of them in need of critical care.
We're here at moment 1, and we really are already overwhelmed with what we need and what we don't have.
Then the helicopters began to arrive. Hundreds of new patients arriving every hour. The already stretched team was called on not only to treat victims, but to unload them, even to direct air traffic.
None of us really, I don't think, had any clue that we were going to be in the major staging operation for the evacuation of over 100,000 people.
But in spite of their severely limited resources, the team lost only 50 patients.
So I started thinking about how all the trips I've made in the past, we just made do. If you're in the mountains and you don't have a spacer for an inhaler, you use duct tape and take a pill bottle and cut the bottom of it out. So I started trying to think about how we could take care of patients in that mode. My teammates, I think, also were very innovative. All of us decided that we could make a difference.
Dr. Thornton is the type of individual that you take what you have and you do your best with it. And I think that's what happened in New Orleans. And I think that's the way he just lives his life. He does the best that he possibly can at all times.
I'm very proud of what we did. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the other doctors. I'm proud of the federal officers who went. We were all just there to do whatever we could, whenever we could, and to do the best that we could.
Less than 3 weeks after returning to Dallas, Dr. Thornton once more packed his stethoscope for another mission of mercy.
5 years ago, a police officer asked me if I would be interested in going with the Catholic Church to do a mission in Guatemala. We typically will go to 2 villages every day up in the mountains, and we have to hike up to these villages. And this year it was muddy, it was wet, it was cold. By Tuesday I realized that something quite extraordinary was happening because we had winds that were 70 and 100 miles an hour.
High winds snapped trees, and torrential rains caused mudslides that swept away roads and villages and people.
I remember another family that we met. It was a woman and her 6 children, and her husband had helped all of them out of the house when the mudslide started, and he was missing. And so part of our mission was just to listen and to listen to the things that all of these people were suffering with together. I think for some reason having an American there that would listen was special for them.
We, as citizens of the United States, have a huge privilege and advantage in that most people who live in this country have never gone to bed hungry. And I think that by doing for others and going somewhere in one little niche or corner of the world, it makes a difference for the people in that corner of the world. You can't change the world, but you can make a difference one person at a time.
What EmCare really offered was an opportunity for me to realize some lifetime dreams that I had, and responding to disasters and being able to help people when they're probably at the very worst point in their life, where they have the greatest need. But I really think it's great to work for a company that our heart's in the right direction. The heart of this company is in the right direction.
ER physicians can get really overwhelmed with the number of patients coming in, but that doesn't matter to Dr. Thornton. He's going to be sure that every patient gets the proper time and energy from him, and he demands that of those other physicians who work in our ER.
He's a quality, qualified physician that obviously gives good patient care, but he also impacts us all by being a good leader out in the community and also at his hospital. And it's again something that we should all look to and use Dr. Thornton as a role model in.
Ed is genuinely concerned about the people he's caring for, that he's seeing, and he really is interested in their life and how things occur to them. The medicine is part of it, but it's really more about relationships.
He has always been committed to the community and been compassionate, as exhibited by his charitable work that he does both locally and also his medical mission work, which he does in Guatemala and other venues throughout the year.
He gives of his time in free clinics, he gives of his time in mission trips, and he doesn't think about the harm's way that he's put himself in. He thinks about what he can give back and how he can make things better.
I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of us here at EmCare as well as his wife that we'd like for him to stay put for at least a couple weeks before he goes somewhere again.
I want to go someplace and make a little bit of a difference in a corner of the world. I can't change it all. I can't change the whole world, but if I could just make a difference in some small part, then it's a place worth going to.